So it was Marquinhos then who missed that final penalty for Brazil as they were knocked out by Croatia. And commentating on that match for talkSPORT, you just heard him there, was Alex Crook, our football correspondent, and he joins us now. Morning to you, Alex. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm okay, but the commentary has taken its toll on my voice this morning, so apologies for a bit of croakiness. A bit of crookiness, shall we say?
Yes, indeed. Alex, tell us. Brazil were meant to dance their way through to the semi-final, and that didn't quite happen. What went wrong for them, other than the penalty shootout, which I know is clearly what it all came down to, but what exactly went wrong? Because they, at one stage, looked as though they were going to reach the semi-finals, having taken the lead in extra time.
Yeah, and they look comfortable. Brilliant goal from Neymar. I mean, he wasn't at his sparkling best throughout the game, but he came up with that moment of magic. And you just didn't see a way back for Croatia at that stage because they're a very well-organised team. They're a stubborn team. In fact, 8 of their last 9 World Cup knockout matches have now gone to extra time. So they're a team and a nation who know how to dig in and go the distance. But there was no sign of a Croatian comeback in extra time. In fact, that was their first shot on target in the entire game. And it was just brainless from Brazil because they committed too many men forward. And all of a sudden, from nowhere, you had a 4-on-3 situation with Croatia bearing down on goal. Brilliant composure from Mislav Orsic, who hadn't long come off the bench, to pick out the pass. Fortuitous finish from Petkovic because he took a massive deflection. I think had it not have done, Alisson would have saved the ball. But once that had happened, you could see that Brazil was shell-shocked. And I said on air, I don't see how they're going to rally themselves here for a penalty shootout. And so it transpired. Livakovic, the goalkeeper for Croatia, had a magnificent shootout in the previous round against Japan. He saved 3 spot kicks. He was a really intimidating figure, the big green giant, as I called him in commentary. And I think he got into the Brazilian players' heads. So in the end, you have to credit Croatia. But if the game was played again, with the chances that Brazil had in normal time, they would have won the game. We'd be talking about an Argentina-Brazil semi-final. But we've known, haven't we, this World Cup more than any other, perhaps, expect the unexpected, and Croatia have certainly delivered that. And I think there'll be a tough nut for Argentina to crack in the next round as well. You know,
what we could do is, Alex, as well, give credit to Croatia because goalkeeper, back four, midfield was pretty extraordinary with very little threat from up front. And Brazil was sucker punched, overloading at the very end. That's what they do. That's what's expected of them. Even if they're winning 1-0, Brazil will always keep going and keep trying to attack to get a second.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. I've mentioned the goalkeeper already. Dejan Lovren, self-proclaimed once the best defender in the world. I think he lived up to the hype last night. He was excellent alongside the youngster Guardiola, who's destined for big things, probably destined for a Premier League move. And Juranovic, the right back, who Celtic fans will know and love, he was sensational. I mean, he marked Vinicius Junior out of the game. He was taken off. He did a good job against Rodrigo, who's a tricky customer who came on as replacement. And the engine that he had to keep turning defence into attack and carry the ball away from danger and up the field. If it wasn't for Livakovic, who made a couple of excellent saves in normal time, Juranovic would have been man of the match. Modric in midfield, who's class as always. Kovacic, I thought, was brilliant. Good engine on him. Brozovic was a spoiler. So, yeah, you do have to give credit to Croatia because they don't really have a number 9, a focal point. Kramaric was quite poor in the game, actually. But they... What they're achieving, not just this tournament, but runners-up in 2018, they're into the last 4 in the Nations League. What they achieve as a nation, they were semi-finalists, of course, in France 98 with that great team with Prosinecki and Suker. They achieve more than the sum of their parts, and credit to them and credit to the coach.
Sorry, I was just going to add on to that. The fact that I was on the Weekend Sports Breakfast out in Doha with Natalie, and we were talking, and I said, this Brazil team remind me of the 82 Brazil team that had flair but could be punished, and that's ultimately how it turned out, where they've been knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah, I've never been that overwhelmed with Brazil in this tournament. They were brilliant for 40 minutes against South Korea, but I think South Korea, with their naivety, played into Brazil's hands. I think Neymar hasn't looked fully fit since that ankle injury that he sustained very early in the group stage. That's been a problem for them. I never saw them as this outstanding team that everyone had down as tournament favourites. Did I expect them to lose to Croatia? No, but I think there's a long way to go before that we can really start talking about Brazil ending what will now be a 24-year World Cup hoodoo in terms of last time they won the trophy. And their record, Cass, against European opponents, They've not beaten a European team in a knockout game at a World Cup since they won it in 2002. That's a problem. And I think whenever they come up against a European side, maybe it's in their heads, we're in trouble here today.